I'm Fritz Nelson with Tom's Hardware. We're here in Las Vegas for CES. It's day 2 for us, but the show's just getting underway. We had a few fun tidbits we wanted to share with you tonight. We're going to start with mobile phones, and the one everybody's been talking about the most is Huawei's Mate 8, which is finally making its way to the US. This phone uses the company's own SoC, which is powered by the Kirin 950 chip. This is one of the first to use ARM's Cortex-72 microarchitecture. Has a 6-inch full HD display and runs Android Marshmallow. It's got dual SIM support, and it uses a new Sony sensor for its 16 megapixel camera. Our early benchmarks are really promising, especially on battery life, thanks to the Huawei Mate 8's 4,000 milliamp battery. It's my way or the Huawei. Now, switching to the other end of the spectrum, there really is some hardware here. ASRock showed us some motherboards. These motherboards will enable base clock overclocking for PCs with lock core multipliers. Now, these aren't using the Enthusiast Class Z170 chipset. They're using the H170, B150, and Workstation C32 chipsets capable of overclocking Skylake processors and of course the Xeon on the C232. ASRock also discussed a motherboard for the Mini SCX form factor developed by Intel, and that Mini SCX measures 5 inches square. Now, we've seen Toby Software before. Their eye tracking software this time provides new gameplay features for Assassin's Creed Syndicate. You can tag enemies in your field of view. You can look at a specific target to assassinate them. You can focus on ledges and spires from which to use the game's grappling gun, and you can look around the corner before you turn your horse carriage. We met with Corsair and saw a lot of its products, but it's finally releasing its Bulldog. This is the company's living room gaming PC. It's a custom designed small form factor with the company's own liquid CPU cooling, its own PSU, and a Gigabyte Z170 Mini ITX. You can get the Bulldog without the motherboard for $299. With the motherboard, it's $399 and will be available later in the first quarter. To accompany the Bulldog, we also got to play around with the Corsair Lapdog. This is a chassis that houses a Corsair K70 RGB keyboard and includes sufficient space for your mouse and maybe a bucket of popcorn and some soda. The entire thing just sits on your lap and you can play games in your living room. We met with a company called Portal, and they're a startup that makes consumer-grade routers, but it has enterprise-class features. Most consumer-grade routers are set to a default channel, but the Portal actively scans the entire spectrum of available channels and frequencies and selects the least populated option, so you reduce latency and buffering. It'll be available via Kickstarter for about $150. Here's something interesting. Sandisk was showing off its 200 gigabyte Connect wireless USB stick. It features its own wireless SSID that can be used to share data and stream HD movies or music to up to 3 devices simultaneously. There's an app for Android, for iOS, and Windows devices, and for Windows PCs, you can access it through a browser. The 200 gigabyte stick is available now for $119.99. That's just a snippet of what we saw here at CES 2016. We'll be back tomorrow for more.